The question is the Creator the same as Allah of the Quran and the God of the Bible? And the background for the question is that I've explained that there is one being that I call the Creator who has created the entire world of form we live in. I explained this in my video on how the world was created. So you can, if you haven't watched that video, it'll help you to watch it. So the answer to that question, is a little bit tricky. It's not a clear-cut answer. Okay, you could say that there are some hints in the Bible and the Quran that point towards the Creator, what I call the Creator. And I'm most familiar with the Bible, so let's take the 10 Commandments. The first commandment, thou shalt have no other gods before me. The second, thou shalt not take unto thyself any graven image. That's an attempt to point to a God who doesn't have form. In other words, you don't take any image, mental image of God and say, this is the ultimate God, and there's nothing beyond it. You're always looking beyond any images, and if you keep looking beyond images, where do you end up? You end up with a God who is, you can't necessarily say formless, but who is beyond form as we conceive of form in this world. So in other words, it's like I've said before, what people have done is they have looked at conditions here in the world of form, looked at our own psychology, then they have created mental images and projected that upon God. So we are sort of reasoning backwards. We're looking at current conditions, looking at ourselves and projecting backwards. This is what God must be like. And this is what has led to, as I've said before, the creation of the Old Testament God, the angry God in the sky who wants to be obeyed and worshipped and who will punish us if we don't obey him. This is not really the God that is beyond form that's like this. It's a man-made creation. So in a sense, you could say there are hints in the Old Testament that point beyond any man-made God, but there are also many, many descriptions in the Old Testament that describe a man-made God, the false God. Then you can take the situation, as I said, the second commandment really says, you can't take unto yourself any graven image. This doesn't mean a statue, even a golden calf. It means no mental image. As I said, you can't reason backwards, can't look at form and reason what God must be like. There is this obsession among some people about the name of God, Jehovah. And supposedly, when you know the name of God, you have some power over God, they think, because if you call in the name of God, God is somehow obligated to give you what you're asking for, even if what you're asking for is the destruction of this other tribe who has this land you want. So there are all kinds of ways, where people seek to justify what they want to do by saying, oh, God told us to do this. And this, of course, is violation of the first two commandments. But take the name of God. Moses is on the Mount and communicating with God. And he is saying to God, because he knows what people want, so he's saying, who can I tell the people has sent me? In other words, what's your name, God? And what is the answer? Yod-He Vav-He in Hebrew. And it's often translated with, I am that I am. And people think that this is the name of God, Jehovah. But there are other people who realize, and several scholars that I have found saying, Yod-He Vav-He really should be translated as, I will be who I will be. And so when you realize that, you are saying, here's a being, whatever being was communicating with Moses, who is saying, again, I will not live up to any name or any fixed image. Look at the first two commandments I just gave you, man. No other gods before me, no graven image. I will be who I will be, because I reserve the right to change. And this is what many, many people have misunderstood. They want a fixed God who is unchanging, eternal, perfect. Because I think God must be perfect, therefore God can't change, because that which is perfect can't change. This is all reasoning backwards. God, the Creator, is constantly changing. That's why the Creator decided to create a world of form. And as this world of form is unfolding, among other reasons, because we as co-creators are constantly co-creating the world, God is also changing because God is aware of everything. The Creator is in everything. But the thing is, even though the Creator is the originator of form, the Creator is not confined to form. The Creator is beyond any form that is created because the Creator is the totality. It's not even, you can't even say the Creator is the totality of form. The Creator is beyond even the totality of form, but the Creator is, of course, aware of it. And of course, there is an aspect of God that is beyond our individual creators. I've talked about, there's something called the allness, which is so beyond that it's almost meaningless to even talk about it. And so I would say that the way most people look at Allah or Jehovah, this is not the Creator. But you can, if you are willing to read between the lines, you can find hints in both the Quran and the Bible that point to this God that is beyond form.